And we are back as cyber threats become harder and harder for the everyday person to spot. Many of us are thinking about how can we spot and protect against the latest scams, particularly with the holidays right around the corner. And listen, joining us now, the head of outreach at Cisco Talos, Nick Biasini. Nick, thanks so much for being with us. And as I say, the holidays here and got other holidays coming down the corner. What are we doing in terms of taking a look at this, because it's very real and it's a very real threat?
Yeah, thanks for having me. One of the things that I always like to bring up around the holidays is that age-old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it likely is. Be very wary of that email or that text message that you're getting offering you that incredible deal that just can't be beat. It's likely to be part of a scam. And unfortunately, this year, with the explosion of AI and ChatGPT, it's going to look really polished. There's no more grammatical errors. There's no more misspellings. It's going to look very legitimate and in some cases be targeted. And again, it's not just email anymore. It's text messages, it's phone calls, it's social media. They're going to go at you every possible way that they can.
And so, what should people know in terms of how to deal when you get a scam or you think you're being scammed? What are the first steps to take?
So there's a couple of things you can do, especially around the holidays. If you're going to be doing online shopping, doing things like making sure your software is up to date, update your phone, update your apps, update your computer. It's going to give you protection from security threats and give you the latest and greatest features. If you are going to be using a credit card online, think about using a service like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, or Google Pay that prevents you from giving your credit card out to the actual vendors. And then finally, if you're going to do shopping, although it might be a little bit more expensive, going to those larger, more reputable retailers, it's going to be less likely you're going to be scammed and a lot more likely you're going to get what you actually are paying for.
You talk about protecting your privacy. I think that's what everybody wants to do. Once you get scammed, it's so hard to recover, and sometimes it can take a long period of time. But prevention is always key. What can I do in terms of privacy prevention?
So one of the things that I like to call out, again, with AI and ChatGPT really taking off, is be wary of what you post publicly. These tools are built off of data that's publicly accessible. So the more information you post publicly, unfortunately, could be used against you by scammers in the future. And again, be skeptical of who you're communicating with. If you don't know who they are, be very wary of if they're sending you links or asking you specific questions.
Nick Biasini is the head of outreach at Cisco Talos and dealing with the threat intelligence team. Let's talk about that for a moment. What's the role of the threat intelligence team?
So I'm a member of Cisco Talos. We're the threat intelligence arm inside of Cisco. The easiest way to think about us is if you have a Cisco security product and it blocks something, it's because of our group. But what we really are is a group of researchers that are tasked with identifying bad activity on the internet. We find it, we block it, we talk about it, and we make sure that our customers are protected from it.
And so how does individuals get information on what's out there, what they should be paying attention to?
One of the things you can do is go to cisco.com/go/security. That'll give you all the information about our products, as well as give a link to our recently released year-in review report that gives those trends at a high level of the malicious activity we're seeing on the internet.
We talked about individuals. I want to take a time to talk also about businesses. A lot of small businesses watch our show and are quite familiar with the fact that this is the holiday season. Tips for small businesses during this time.
One of the things I always like to call out, especially around the holidays and around scams, is awareness of your brand. The last thing you want to see as a business owner is your logo or your company name being used in a scam or some other type of malicious activity. So try and do your best to protect your brand and make sure it doesn't get abused.
Can you give me a little insight? I hear all the time when it comes to those people who are scammers, they're always trying to potentially look for ransom. For somebody who may not be so familiar, can you give us a little bit of insight into what this ransom thing is all about?
Yeah, so what we typically see in those types of attacks is they're either going to steal your data, as in like take it off of your computer and then threaten to expose it if you don't pay a ransom, or they're going to deploy some sort of malware that's going to encrypt all the files on your system so you can't access them anymore, and then try and extort money out of you that way. So it's a tough challenge. Again, another thing, don't click links from people you don't know. Don't engage in conversations with people you don't know. Those types of things are the ways that these actors tend to get in.
And when they say these things, how realistic is it? Is it true? Do they have some information or do they have no information?
It really depends on the individual as well as the actor that's doing it. As I said before, with AI and ChatGPT, it's increasingly easy to get very personalized scams built, right? If ChatGPT or one of these other AI tools is able to scrape a bunch of private information about you, they can ask it questions and get decent information on ways to really make those scams look enticing to you.
So user awareness and education, very, very important. Talk to me about, as we're here in this time of year, how much more prevalent are we seeing these hackers and these scammers get at it?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is around this time of year, we see a lot of scams that are holiday focused, but that is far from the only type of scam that's out there. There's romance scams, there's business email scams, there's gift card scams. Unfortunately, there is an awful lot of scam activity out there today. So try and be a little bit skeptical. Be careful of the stuff you're clicking. Be careful of the emails you're opening, and make sure that you're trying to stay safe this holiday season.
And if somebody's hacked or they've been scammed, what is the first immediate step they should take?
First and foremost, if you've handed over information, you need to make sure that you fix it. So if you handed over bank information, call your bank. If you handed over usernames and passwords, start going in and changing all your passwords. It's also incredibly important to be running multi-factor authentication. That's that app on your phone or that text message that you get that says, hey, please enter this code after you entered your username and password. That'll really help you if somebody does end up stealing your identity or your credentials.
The multi-factor identification just did that just a little while ago. It was a little frustrating, but at the end, I had to walk away saying, listen, it's the thing that's going to keep me safe, and so just deal with it. So I think more and more people have to just deal with it and understand it's really out there to help you. So, Nick, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. All right, now for more information, visit the website cisco.com/security, and we encourage you don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more open right after this.